Good morning, my dear students of class 12. Today I will continue the chapter Principle of Inheritance and Variation. And in my previous class I have discussed about the first I have discussed about the monohybrid cross, and after that some deviations of Mendel's, that Mendelism, some deviations from Mendelism, that is incomplete dominance. Today I will start to discuss with the codominance. Okay, so first you have to know what is. First I will discuss about the codominance. Codominance means expression of both. That means one pair of contrasting character or gene will be shown. Expression of both means one pair of contrasting characters will be shown. Like if you consider that a cow is having red colored body, so its genotype is capital R, and another cow that is white in color, so its genotype is WW. Now what will be the gamete from this capital R or from this W? Then what will happen? Next, if we cross this one, then what we will get? We will get capital R, capital R, capital R W, capital R W, W, W. Okay. So this one is again red, this one is white, but these two shows a own color. That means if it can be seen in cows, that if a red colored cow is crossed with white colored cow, then the offsprings of F2 generations will be, one will be red colored, one will be white colored, and in two both will be there. That means their own color appearance will be shown. Okay, that means red and white, both characteristics or expression of red and white, both gene or both will be shown. This is known as codominance. In the incomplete dominance, what we are getting, that are mix up characters. We have got a pink type of color which is a mix up of red and white, but in that case there is codominance. That's why both the color will be shown. So now if I consider the definition, then what is codominance? Codominance is the phenomenon of inheritance in which two alleles of a gene are equally dominant. Two alleles of a gene are equally dominant and express themselves in the presence of one another. So I am repeating what is codominance. Codominance means, 1 minute. Okay. Codominance means that it is the phenomenon of inheritance in which two alleles of a gene are equally dominant and express themselves in the presence of one another. Another very good example of codominance is ABO blood group. What is the example? Example is ABO blood group. So here, for blood group, in case of human, one gene is present. That is gene is I, capital I. Okay, and it is having three allelic forms. What are they? IA, IB, and dominant one, it can be written as small I. So here the allele IA is dominant over small I, and IB is also dominant over small I. Okay, so alleles IA and IB both are dominant, and both will express themselves in the presence of the other when they are present together. That means if I consider the AB blood group, so just I am repeating that part, that IA is dominant over small I and IB also dominant over small I. But in case of AB blood group, both, what will be the genotype? IA, IB. Means both the dominant are present and expressing together. So, expressing themselves in the presence of the other when they are present together. Hence, this how? Because RBCs have both the type of glycoprotein. So, in that case, it will show the AB blood group system. So, now you can understand that what is codominance, that I have explained that two alleles of a genes equally dominant and will express themselves in the presence of one another. Okay, so that is the very good example of codominance. So, these two are deviations from Mendel's, because Mendel didn't explain this. Next one is multiple allele. So, first one is incomplete dominance, second one was codominance, and next one is multiple allele. So, as you can understand with the name that multiple allele, that means many alleles are present. So that means in that case many alleles are present. The phenomenon of inheritance in which a gene exists in more than one allelic form. When a gene exists in more than one allelic form, this is considered as multiple allele. What is the example of multiple allele? Again, the ABO blood group system is showing the ABO blood group is the example of multiple allele. How? Because the gene is I, as I have mentioned that gene is I. So I gene exists in three allelic forms. What are these three allelic forms? IA, IB and small I. So this is the good example of multiple allele. So I am repeating, that means one gene, many alleles. If more than one alleles are present in a gene, or not more than one, because a gene is having two alternative forms, that is alleles. So more than two are present, then it is considered as multiple allele. Clear? Now, next one is another condition that is called as pleiotropy. So pleiotropy is the phenomenon. What is the pleiotropy? Pleiotropy is the phenomenon in which one gene has the ability to have more than one phenotypic effect. Pleiotropy means when one gene has the ability to have more than one phenotypic effect, it is considered as pleiotropy. Okay, I am repeating that when pleiotropy is the phenomena in which one gene has the ability to have more than one phenotypic effect. What is the example? Example is that one gene controls flower and seed color in pea. Okay, so pleiotropy, I am repeating, pleiotropy is the phenomena in which one gene has the ability to have more than one phenotypic effect, then it is called as pleiotropy. And what is the example? That in pea, one gene controls the color of the flower and the color of the seed. So there is a gene is one and it is expressing the more than one phenotypic effect, then because the flower color and seed color is different, so it is considered as pleiotropy. Okay. Now Next one is polygenic inheritance. Next one is polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance means many genes but trait is one. So now if I write like that, many genes, one trait, that is considered as polygenic inheritance. So one trait is controlled by two or more genes. So in that case, one trait is controlled by more than two genes. When one trait or one character is controlled by more than two genes, just all opposite to the previous one. So if one trait or characteristics is controlled by more than two genes, then it is considered as polygenic inheritance. A good example of polygenic inheritance is human skin color. Human skin color is the good example of polygenic inheritance. How? Because so in case of human skin color, this polygenic inheritance can be seen. So the human skin color gene is ABC. ABC. Now this is the condition, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. It is expressing the black skin color. Now small a, small b, small c, small b, small c, small c. It is expressing the albino skin color. Okay, now if a cross occurs in between them, then what we will get? The genome gametes will be capital A, capital B, capital C, and in that case small a, small b and small c. Okay, so that one is dominant one, that one is recessive one. Next, if I cross this one, capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital T, small c, with another one, capital A, capital B, small b, and capital T, small c. Now, after that, it is called as mulatto. This is the condition is called as mulatto. Now, from this, what we will get? We will get 6 dominant black, 5 dominant very dark, 6 dark, 3 intermediate or mulatto, 2 fair, 1 very fair, and 1 albino. So this type of condition we will get after the result, and from this we can get a bell-shaped curve. If we want to make a curve, just look, we can get a bell-shaped curve. This one is the capital A, capital B, small b, capital T, small c. This one small b, small c, small c, and this one capital A, capital B, capital T. If this is the skin color or the phenotype, then the curve will be like that. That means 6 will be dominant, 3 will be intermediate, and there will be white albino. Okay, so it will be like that. So total we will get the 64. Now this is the very good example of polygenic inheritance. As you can see that one trait is controlled by 2 or more than genes. You can see that capital A, capital B, capital C, A, B, C genes are present for controlling the human skin color. And last one is epistasis. Last one is epistasis. So what is epistasis? This is a type of interaction between two different genes controlling a single character, in which one gene masks the effect of the other. In epistasis condition, one gene will mask the effect of the other. The gene which masks the effect of the other gene is called as epistatic gene, and the gene whose effect is masked is called as hypostatic gene. I am repeating that what is epistasis? It is a type of interaction. Epistasis is a type of interaction between two different genes controlling a single character in which one gene masks the effect of the other. Okay, and in that case the gene which masks the effect of the other gene is called as epistatic gene, and the gene whose effect is masked is called as hypostatic gene. Okay, so these are the different deviations of Mendelism. Now only one part is left, that is the dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross part is left. Now I will discuss about the dihybrid cross. Inheritance of two genes. So what Mendel has done, Mendel has taken round and yellow seed whose genotype is capital R, capital R, capital Y, and it crosses with wrinkled and green seed, that is small y, smaller. So this one is the dominant. Capital, as you know that capital one is the dominant and small one is the recessive one. Okay, and as two characters has been considered, this is called as dihybrid cross. As two characters has been considered, so we can call it dihybrid cross. Okay, so that is the P generation or parent generation. That is the parent generation. Now gametes will be formed. So what will be the gamete? Capital R, Y, and in that case small r, small y. So in that case both the characters we have to consider. That means we have to take one capital R from these two and one capital Y from these two. And the another gamete will be produced, but that one also be the same, that is capital R and capital Y. Capital R means round shaped seed and small r means wrinkle shaped seed. And the color of the seed is yellow for capital Y because that two are dominant, and small y for green. Okay, so that one is recessive. Now in the F1 generation, what we will get? In the F1 generation, we will get capital R, capital Y, small y. Okay, so it is the F1 generation. That one is the gamete. It is the same with the monohybrid cross, but it is, what is the difference? That in dihybrid cross we are taking the two characteristics. Okay, that's why its name is dihybrid. Now after the F1 generation, say it is the cross pollination. Now self pollination will occur, right? So what will be the gamete produced from this? So from these four gametes will be produced capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So these are the four possible combinations of gametes that can be formed from this, and that this one also the same will be produced. Okay, now we have to find out the F2 generation. As the number of gametes is quite large, that's why we will do it directly in the checkerboard. Okay. So what we will get? Because the number of gametes are more, that's why. What we will write? Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Same here, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Now, we have to fill the checkerboard. This one is capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. This one capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. This one, this means this and this will be cross. Capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Like that we have to fill the checkerboard. Okay. Capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, small y, small y. Again, capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Small r, capital Y, small y. Next, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y, and small r, small y, small r. We will get this one. So, what will be the phenotypic and genotypic ratio? So, we have to first find out the phenotypic ratio. Now, you can see that how will you find out the phenotypic ratio? That means it is having 4 possible combinations. So, first one is round yellow as it was dominant, and second one is a mixture of round green. Third one is round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, and wrinkled yellow, and wrinkled green. So, what will be the genotypic ratio? That capital R, capital Y. That means that one is round yellow. So, one is round yellow. That one round yellow. That one round yellow. That one round yellow. That one round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow. So what is the total number of, why we are considering all this round yellow? Because we will find that where capital R and capital Y present, that one we will consider because they are dominant. If they are present in heterozygous condition, they will express their character. So if one capital R and one capital Y is present, then it will show the round and yellow characteristic. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number of round and yellow is 9. Now I am using the alternative character. Next one is round and green. So what will be the genotype? Capital R and small y. So now we have to find capital R, small y. 1. Capital R, small y. 2. Capital R, small y. 3. So what is the number of round green? 3. Next I will use the another color, that is wrinkle and yellow. What will be the genotype? That is wrinkle means small r and yellow means capital Y. So we have to find small r capital Y. Small r capital Y 1, small r capital Y 2, small r capital Y 3. So the ratio will be 3. And only one is left. So that one is wrinkle and green. Small r, small y. So that is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross. Now, like that, you have to find out the genotypic ratio. What will be the genotypic ratio? Now, look, you have to find it out. Look, that one is the genotype. That one is another one. That one is another one. So, you have to write it down and you have to find it out that what will be the genotypic ratio. Its phenotypic ratio is mainly 9:3:3:1. And the genotypic ratio, you have to find it out. Try to find it out at your home, and this one is your homework. Okay. So in my next class, I will start with the chromosomal inheritance and the sex determination in human. Okay, so for today that's it, and thank you.